Hello and welcome to the Complete with DLC Nintendo Direct Special, the only show announced late 2016. I'm here with our special host, the lethargic Jacob Griffin. Jacob, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. You didn't introduce yourself like I do first.
Yeah, I figured, save the best for last. I'm Brad Knight. Hi guys, how you doing? Thank you for reminding me because I wouldn't have introduced myself.
I hate you so much. I hate the fact this is probably going to end up being longer than the regular show.
Nah, I wouldn't be that long. Watch. All right, so this episode we decided to, rather than throw it into the news of the regular episode, there was enough here to warrant its own special. So Nintendo Direct happened today, and our lovely Bill Trinan was our host. I have no idea who that is.
We recorded the podcast this week, by the way. That's why this is a separate thing.
Yes, we were going to just edit it in if it was short, but it's not looking to be that short, so that's not going to happen. So, yeah. I don't know who Bill Trinan is, but he was nice enough to do this.
I'll tell you who Bill Trinan is. I'll Google it. You just keep talking.
All right. So they decided to open up the show with the thing everybody really wanted to hear about first, which was Star Fox Zero and another game they announced, which was Star Fox Guard. This was previously under the name Project Guard from about two E3s ago. And it's at this point that Bill Trinan kind of passed it over to Shigeru Miyamoto, who talked about it. So Star Fox Zero is the new Star Fox game coming, and it's, from what they say, similar in structure to the N64 version, meaning the plot of the game and the way the game, like the game overworld and everything is structured, is similar to the N64 version. But the story and the map are entirely new. So what this one does is it has pretty serious branching paths, and inside every level, or not every level, but inside levels, if you take a certain path, you'll be led to an entirely new level off of the main storyline, and that level will have a new boss. And as soon as you beat that boss, you head back to the overworld, and now there's a whole new branching path with new levels to go down. And the whole idea is there's this huge branching path, like a giant tree, that will all eventually come back to a single point at the end of the game. And when you beat the end of the game, you can go back, and there's even more paths. So from what I'm understanding, there's a lot of replayability in this game. They talked about a specific level called Fortuno. It is apparently really challenging. They made a big mention that this is the kind of game that is, the more you practice it, the more fun it gets, the more rewarding that it feels. But they mentioned a few new mechanics into it, like a two-player mode. One person flies the R-Wing, the other one shoots. So you can kind of just use a cooperative, kind of casual play style if that's what you want to do.
You can be like Finn and Poe Dameron.
Exactly. You can be like Finn and Poe Dameron. And then just fly the X-Wing straight up so Finn can shoot.
Exactly.
No, that was Rey in the Millennium Falcon.
That was Rey in the Millennium Falcon, yeah.
Get my Force Awakens all mixed up.
Seeing as I already interrupted you, Bill Trinan is the Senior Product Marketing Manager of Nintendo of America. He's also a professional Japanese to English translator who has worked in the localization of numerous Nintendo-published video games.
Continue. So he's accredited. That's good.
He's a good guy.
So they also mentioned that this game has Amiibo support. So if you put the Smash Brothers Fox Amiibo on it, it'll give you the classic R-Wing from the SNES, that little triangle-looking thing. And they also said, quote, there might even be some other bonuses for you. I hope you try it out. So Shigeru Miyamoto leaving out the little cookie crumbs, saying just stick every Amiibo you have on the thing and see what happens. So yeah, it's looking to be like another N64 Star Fox game, which a lot of people wanted. Jacob, you didn't like the art style you'd mentioned to me earlier.
I don't like the fact that it looks just like the N64 one, at least to me, I think.
I thought it looked really similar, and then they put the classic R-Wing in that, and I realized how much better it looked.
Yeah. It didn't grab me like I wanted it to, because I like Star Fox, and I would really love like a new good one.
Yeah. At least this is in the same style as the old one, even if it maybe doesn't live up to the standards the old one set. So the other game that was mentioned is Star Fox Guard, and that's going to be bundled with this game, and you can purchase them separately if you want. If you purchase them separately, you can buy them both for the same price as the bundle would cost you. So there's no benefit to buying one or the other. Might as well just buy both. So this is a tower defense game where you switch between 12 different cameras to attack enemies that are advancing on your mining facility. You're guarding this little mining facility, and there are 100 missions to play. And on top of that, there's this Mario Maker style of multiplayer where you can create new enemy placements And I specify enemy placements here because from what I saw, the actual level, the mining facility, didn't seem to change. Instead, you changed how the enemies advanced through and where they spawned and what they did. So you can make these new levels, make these new enemy challenges, and then post them online. Other people will play them. And then you can go online and you can go head to head with other people. One person attacks the facility, the other one defends it, and you're going through the levels that people posted.
Right.
And April 22nd is the launch date for those two games. So Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard. Right after that, they announced a Splatoon update. So they still haven't forgotten about this, even though they haven't done really much for a while. They did gear buffs, or they're doing, gear buffs to lesser used items. They're making adjustments to the matchmaking to make it more even. There's going to be new Splatfest elements, new weapon set combinations suggested by the shopkeeper, and this is going to be a two-part update. So the first part's coming in April, and the second part they did not announce. They're going to update their website for more specific information when it becomes available. So if you're a Splatoon player, then keep an eye on the website. Things will show up there periodically. Right after that, and this is, by the way, exactly how Nintendo did it. It was this game.
Spitfire.
Literally, it was a 30-minute long conference, and I was writing for about 25 minutes of it. So the next game they announced was Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympics. And this is one of the few games they actually showed a trailer for, because they didn't show a lot of trailers.
One of the few games I'm excited for on this conference. Because I actually like the Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. I was going to say at the Sonics.
Yeah, at the Sonics.
Yeah.
It's an underrated restaurant, I feel.
I love Sonic.
We don't have a Sonic around here, do we?
Yeah, one's opening up in March, sir.
Is it?
Yes, in Somerset. How have you not heard about this?
I don't pay attention to fast food. Though apparently I should probably start.
Yeah.
But they didn't really announce much for this game. You just supposed to kind of extrapolate, from the trailer. So they showed soccer, boxing, archery, and two series firsts, which are rhythmic gymnastics and rugby.
What is rhythmic gymnastics? What's the difference?
Right. So essentially what I saw was it was Tails holding two little baton-looking things and doing a dance.
Of course it was Tails.
And then it was, what's that girl from Super Mario Galaxy? The really, really light blonde. Starts with an R, I think.
Rosalina.
And it was her doing in a gymnastics outfit, doing a little dance.
Sounds hot.
And yeah, and then it showed rugby, and both of those games haven't been in any of the Mario and Sonic series before, so they made a mention to say that it was a series first for those. They also mentioned that the arenas that you play in are modeled after the actual Rio stadiums that are used that would be used in the Olympics. And the release dates for this is March 18th on the 3DS and June 24th for the Wii U. So quite a big differentiation there.
Cool.
Following that is Mario Maker, and there's quite a few updates to this, actually.
I like this game.
So, yeah, there's a lot of shaking involved. So they changed a bunch of the items around. So now if you shake a thwomp while you're making the level, you'll make a skewer, which is those big spiky pillars that shoot out from Super Mario World. I think the castles had them. They really sucked. So if you want to have a skewer now, you shake a thwomp and it'll make that. If you shake a P-switch, it'll turn into a key. You can give the key to the bosses, or you can hide it in blocks. And you can shake a door to turn it into a key door, which can't be opened without that key. So they made this so it was a kind of way to make mandatory boss fights. So if you want to get past the door, you got to kill the boss, get the key, so on.
Right.
If you shake a coin, you get a pink coin. Collect all of them, and you get a key. This will make it so you can make more collection-focused levels if that's what you want to do. And they also announced a 100 challenge super expert mode. So this will unlock after beating the expert mode already in place, and it's 6 levels that you have to beat with 100 lives, and they're apparently really, really hard to do, which is why you get 100 lives for only 6 levels. And for beating them, you get new mystery mushroom costumes as a prize. So the Super Mario Maker bookmark site will now have rankings, first completions, world records, all that sort of stuff on display. So if you're if you like to see statistics and you like to leaderboards and all that stuff, the bookmark site is having all that. And that update is coming in March 9th, so just under a week from now.
Nice.
And next up is probably Jacob. You really like this game, huh? From what you've seen of it. The Tokyo Mirage Session. Mirage Session Sharp FE. I can't speak, and that title is killing me.
And let me tell you something. I'm about to buy a Wii U just for this game.
Yep, Jacob went to Amazon and put a Wii U in his cart. So this was made by Atlas. This is the guys who make Persona. And they said that their own Persona games and Fire Emblem was a very big inspiration for them.
Right.
And what this game is, it's a pop idol concert that meets RPG gameplay. So you're a pop star doing concerts with like turn-based RPG gameplay. And it's well, I don't know if it's turn-based. It was really hard to tell from the trailer, but it's really interesting. There's in-game commercials and music videos that you have to perform for. And the game is based in Japan, and because of this, the game will keep the original Japanese VO and VA with only English subtitles. So if you want English subtitles, you can do that. If obviously you're a native Japanese speaker, you don't need them, so you can turn them off. But there's going to be no English voices for this. They're keeping the Japanese only.
There is so much smiles on my face right now.
This game, by the way, if anybody wants to double check or look for yourself and what any of this stuff looks like, you go to the twitch.tv/Nintendo and you can check out the VOD for this whole direct. I warn you, the VOD is like an hour and a half long, but about the first 30 minutes is just a starting soon screen, and the last like 45 is a thank you for watching screen. So skip around.
Did you say the VOD?
Yeah, video on demand.
Oh, why not just say the video, like the archive?
Oh, because I don't know, that's what Twitch calls them. I've just forced a habit at this point, really.
I've always just called it an archive. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, if you want to check any of this stuff out, some of the games have trailers. That's where you're going to want to do it. You just skip around until you find the one you're looking for. This one is pretty early on, but this game looks beautiful, and there's some really, really good music in it too, from what I heard. Apparently, there's a popular Japanese music company that's heading this the music in this game. So that's coming out March 24th on the Wii U.
The only thing that could make me love this game more is if it was K-pop instead of J-pop. Anyway, keep going.
A bigger fan of the K-pop?
I love K-pop.
Didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's something to know about me.
Trivia for Jacob. It's going to be on the test, guys. Write it down.
Yeah.
So the next game is called Lost Reavers, and this was mentioned at a Nintendo Direct last year. So what this game is you team up online with 4 players, and you go through dungeons getting treasure, kind of like Tomb Raider style. You have to solve the bosses, kill the bosses, and like kind of clear out all the mobs that are kind of lurking around, mostly zombies from what they said. So you go in, you get the treasure, and you have to get back out again to complete it, and then you split the profit you make the four ways. And you use the profit to, upgrade your skills, buy new weapons, level up, so on and so forth. And each dungeon apparently can be completed quite a few different ways. The enemy mob spawns will differ, and so you can go through and play it again. If you have a Wii U, and this at least sounds a little bit interesting to you, you can check it out on April 14th. There's going to be an open beta. So you go in and you can check out what you want to, if that's kind of the game for you. And if it is, then you can buy it on April 28th. This one actually looked kind of cool. It looked, at least graphically, it looked cool, and the gameplay seemed like it would be a good, like, kind of Saturday time killer.
Yeah.
Sure. So up next is, honestly, something that I am horribly sorry to announce. Paper Mario Color Splash. So they're making another Paper Mario game. And from what I saw, this one's going to be worse than Sticker Star, folks. On an island. This one's based on an island called Prism Island. And the island is losing its color. That's this game's whole gimmick, is color. Because Nintendo has some weird fetish with paint for some reason. So you bring the color back by whacking things with your paint hammer. And literally, in the levels, there's literally like blotches on the ground that are missing color. Like they're just white, and you whack it, and then they become color, and coins shoot out of the ground. Or they shoot out of the flowers or whatever you just hit. And so you walk around and you whack some of the toads that are like colorless outlines on the ground. So they come back to life and they talk to you. In the trailer or in the video, it shows him whacking a toad's house to bring all the color back, and the door swings open and 100 toads fly out. So what makes this game sort of not a Paper Mario game is there's no partners like other Paper Mario games, and there's no overworld like the other Paper Mario games. So essentially this game is structured like a Super Mario World game. And you move from level to level, like 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, so on and so forth. And even that's like, okay, fine. But the combat isn't Paper Mario style either. The combat consists of you have to paint these cards and then flick them. Which is a very strange way to do combat.
It's odd.
Yeah, and they even tried to keep the special thing the same from game to game. So in the first couple Paper Mario games, you had the stars, right? Like the living stars in the first game and the crystal stars in the Thousand Year Door. This game has special cards. and these special cards will do special attacks when you use them. They, quote, said they would be satisfying. But yeah, they gave no specific release date for this game. Just sometime later this year is when they said it would come.
I'm just picturing like a room full of Japanese men, just like it's like a boardroom, and they're all just like, oh, let's just put paint in another game. Just want to see that paint.
I mean, really, at this point, they made Splatoon. There was a Kirby game with paint in it. Like, guys, stop. At some point, paint is enough. There's no more.
Like, I just want to see Mario just covered in paint.
I wonder why that is. I wonder what makes them think that paint is the selling mechanic in all these games. Because very often it isn't.
Paint looks cool, I think.
That's true.
Graphically, I think it looks different and cool.
Yeah, and I didn't mention graphics for that Paper Mario game. They look very similar, if not a little worse, than the Thousand Year Door. So you can use that for a kind of guiding measure on how to judge this game. But like I said, check out the trailer if you're really interested, or check out the VOD rather. So up next is
VOD.
I keep saying it. It's force of habit. Up next is the Pokken Tournament, which we talked about in the show a few times, but we have quite a bit more information about it now. So the idea of the game is you fight from the bottom tier of fighters up to the top tier, and you go through and progress. And with every fight you win, regardless of the difficulty of the fight, you will get in-game currency, and you use that currency to upgrade your avatar. And this was confusing at first. I had to kind of look into this a little bit. But avatar in this sense isn't like your avatar in like Xbox or your Wii in for Nintendo. It's
also
actually
not the Last Airbender.
Yeah, also not the Last Airbender or blue people who like trees. Right. It's actually the Pokemon, Pikachu, Machamp, Gengar, whatever it is. So you get different costumes for them, like Luchador, Pikachu, or whatever.
I saw that in the trailer, and let me just say, I only want to play as Luchador Pikachu.
It looks really cool. Apparently, Pikachu has a lot of get-ups because that's kind of Pikachu's thing now.
He's adorable.
He is absolutely adorable. That's why he survived 20 years.
I'm telling you why he has so many get-ups. It's because he's the mascot of that franchise.
Oh, he absolutely is. Have you? Did you see Gen 1 Pikachu? He was kind of chubby. He's lost some weight.
Yeah, no, they wanted it to be fit. They want to get him for like a 7-picture deal. They want him to be healthy.
The fame has gotten to him for sure.
Yeah.
So something I didn't know about this game actually is there's going to be two kinds of Pokemon. There's going to be battle and support Pokemon. So think of Marvel versus Capcom for this kind of thing, right? So you fight as the battle Pokemon. Support Pokemon will do certain augmentations to your battle Pokemon. So the idea is you mix and match and try to find the best combination that you like. So they went through and they showed a couple of the different guys. They didn't announce anybody new as far as I know. I'm pretty sure all these guys were already mentioned. But they made a real big emphasis on the fact that they will all feel different and they will all play entirely different. The examples they used were Lucario, who uses big aura-based AoE attacks. AoE is area of effect, sorry. Burst attacks. So he's very, very kind of distance and only gets up close when he needs to. By comparison, you have Machamp, who, for those who don't know, he's like a four-armed, big, muscly dude. And he's a big, heavy hitter. He throws punches, he throws, but he's much slower. He has to get up close and personal to really do damage. And the sort of gimmicky guy they decided to show was Gengar. So Gengar is the ghost-type Pokemon, and he uses a lot of teleporting mechanics. So he can, like, kind of like the, who was it in Mortal Kombat that did it? So he throws a punch behind him, and the punch pops out of a portal and, like, whacks your enemy in the back of the head.
Scorpion.
It's like Scorpion. Yeah, so he's kind of like the Scorpion mechanic. And the one thing about this game that I noticed was all these specials look really cool. So Gengar's special is, like, he goes into his Digi-evolution, his Mega Evolution, and, like, your enemy falls into a giant, like, Gengar mouth. Machamp does, like, this super huge, like, combo. Lucario shoots, like, laser beams or whatever. So it looks really cool, at least graphically. After they got done showing the Pokemon, they said they mentioned Shadow Mewtwo, which was a special thing only in this game apparently. He's not going to be available anywhere else. They had said that on March 17th, which is the day before its release, there's going to be a tournament showcasing the game to kind of get people to, get a real closer look at how the game plays, how it feels. And as I said, it's going to release on March 18th.
Cool.
This was one of the few games I actually thought about, I thought I would buy if I had a Wii U. Not enough to make me buy a Wii U, but it certainly is an interesting game.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely play Pokken Tournament if I had a Wii U.
Alright, so...
I don't like fighting games, and I'd play Pokken Tournament.
Yeah, it feels like... I can't say feels, but it looks like a weird hybrid between Tekken and Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I heard it plays more like Smash Brothers than it does Tekken.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's not a bad thing.
No, it's actually it's a thing that gets me more interested in the game.
Yeah, I've always been a bigger Smash than I have been
Yeah,
a Tekken. Are you a big Zelda fan?
somewhat.
All right, so maybe you'll like this one. There's a few Zelda games in this list, but the first one to come up was Twilight Princess HD.
I hate this game.
Did you?
I hate it, Twilight Princess. It's like one of my least favorite Zelda games.
All right. Well, they didn't talk about this one too much, but they did say they did a retrospective video series on how they made it, and the fourth episode in that series is where they talk about all the new stuff that's coming to this HD remake. And this HD remake actually comes out tomorrow.
Today, when you're listening to it, actually.
Yeah, today when you're listening to it. So, go check it out. And check out that video series to see what new stuff you might get. Because they didn't talk about it in the actual Direct conference. Up next, we have kind of the boring bit. We have loyalty programs, which was the kind of thing they're trying to implement at Nintendo. So it's called My Nintendo, and the idea is you play apps and purchase digital games to earn points. They never quite said what these points are used for, but they did show two different kinds. There was the platinum coins, and there's this picture of a gold coin, but they didn't say what the gold coin was or how to earn it. They didn't mention that one at all, actually. So what they did mention was a smart device app called Miitomo. And essentially they just said sign up to pre-register for it, and then you sign up for a Nintendo account to become a member of My Nintendo. That way you can earn those platinum points. They really didn't spend all that much time on this, but it just, while they said it's not any normal points program, it just feels like a normal points program.
Right.
So not a bad thing, just something to keep out for if you spend a lot of money on Nintendo digital properties. All right, so after that we have what's called Amiibo Challenges. So this is a free download for the Wii U and 3DS. And the idea is you guide your characters, guide these little Amiibos. There's 10 compatible ones through unique levels that are only open to those Amiibos. Each character has a unique ability. For example, the Mini Mario can wall jump. And you get early access to this from certain retailers, Best Buy, Amazon, and GameStop specifically. And you can do that on March 25th with the purchase of any Nintendo Amiibo figure. Though the actual not early access title is available on the April 28th. So this, honestly, it's just a very, very simple game. It's not really anything all that important, but it's just a free thing to scroll around with, really. Add a little side note, there's the fourth series of Animal Crossing Amiibos. I can't believe they made 4 whole series of these. But
it's weird. It doesn't seem like it would have that many. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that many characters to work with, at least.
Maybe I didn't check the other 3 series, but maybe some of these are a rehash, different versions, maybe like kind of 2 different Mario versions, so to speak.
Maybe like a variation on like Tom Nook or something like that.
Yeah. So there's series 4 is coming June 10th. There's an Isabelle figure that's separate from that bundle because it's a bundle of 3. But the Isabelle figure is going to be separate. It's going to be available in June as well, but they didn't specify a date for that figure. She'll be accompanied by another figure, this time sporting her summer outfit. So this time, if you want Isabelle in her summer outfit, well, I have an Amiibo for you. It's weird how weirdly specific these things get.
It's like in her summer outfit. It sounds like it's at like a fashion show.
Yeah, like I was
coming to the stage in her summer outfit, Isabella.
I was going to say a Playboy article, but then I realized how wrong that sounded when I associated with a kid's game.
Yeah.
So up next was the Virtual Console update. Now, this is exclusively for the Nintendo 3DS XL. That's it. Right. So I guess they're trying to force people onto that specific 3DS as instead of the older versions. But this is going to have SNES console title releases with exclusive features. One of them is called the Pixel Perfect mode, or the Perfect Pixel mode, excuse me. And it puts their games to the original resolution. So if you like that, kind of like Rare Replay did, where if you like that weird, like, looking on a old TV, it's going to kind of do the same thing for you.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I don't use that function in Rare Replay, but it's cool to have. Actually, a function I do use is in Master Chief Collection, where you look at the old graphics. I do that all the time.
Ugh,
I actually think
throw up.
I love the old graphics of Halo 1. I use it constantly.
Oh, gross. I hate that the most.
I love it. But they're going to be 3 rounds of this. So the first round is actually today, March 3rd, or yesterday when you're listening to this, and that round is going to consist of Pilot Wings, Super Mario World, and F-Zero.
You know, keep talking about the stories. I'll be right back.
Sure. So the second round is going to be March 24th. That's going to be Super Mario Kart, Earthbound, and Donkey Kong Country. The third and, as far as I know, final round, they might add more individual titles later, but they didn't announce them. That's going to be April 14th, and those titles are going to be A Link to the Past, Super Metroid, and Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong Quest. So those are the 9 games, as of right now, that will be brought to the SNES console. I'll have to ask Jacob if you like see A Link to the Past, because I heard that was a pretty good one. But if you're big on like backwards compatibility and you like playing old games, then that's something you're going to want to check out. I don't believe, unless I missed it, they announced any specific pricings for those titles. But I think we'll have to wait and see when they. Actually, I suppose I can check now with the first round already being out. But I can't imagine they'd be that expensive. Anyway, on to the next story. It's called Pocket Card Jockey. Now, this is from Game Freak, if that name sounds familiar to you. Those are the guys that did the English versions of Pokemon, at least the early ones. I don't know if they're still doing it. So what this game is, it's a solitaire horse racing game. And it looks as weird as it sounds. So it's a simplified version of solitaire that you play and you have to kind of complete it to move your horse through the race. And as you clear cards through the solitaire, you get what's called Unity Power. And you use this Unity Power to move your horse along the race. Or if you want, you can kind of save it and conserve it a little bit and use it for a boost. So you have to level up your horse to get stat boosts, both for you and the horse. You win trophies from different events, and you draw in sponsors with those trophies. They never said what the sponsors are for. That would probably be important to note. And eventually you retire your horse to the stables. You can't race him anymore, and you bring in a new horse. And then eventually you retire that horse, and you continue the cycle. But they did mention, however, that when you have 2 retired horses, you can breed them and make more horses. So if you want to breed race horses and play solitaire, then this is the game for you. Pocket Card Jockey.
I'm back. I got a ice cream sandwich, and all I heard was breed race horses.
Yes, Jacob. I'm gonna ask you a question. Would you like to breed race horses while playing solitaire?
I enjoy solitaire.
Then you're gonna like this game. It's called Pocket Card Jockey. I'm not gonna read it all again, but you can read the notes if you're that interested.
I'll read about that after.
It's launching in May on the 3DS. So up next is a game that I thought looked really cool. It's called Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. This is a sequel. It's a fast-paced sort of 2D like platformer, but more combat-focused than, say, like Mega Man. And this time around, you can play as the rival of Gunvolt, Koppen. I don't actually know how you spell that. That's just how the guy was saying it. He was saying Koppen. So if I'm saying that incorrectly, I apologize. But Koppen has dashing attacks, and he uses homing attacks. And his cool little gimmick is that he can copy all 7 of the new boss's abilities. So there are 7 different bosses, and he can copy each one of their abilities, and he can use them himself. That was just about all the information they gave. The original game is now discounted from March 2nd to June 1st. It's going to be $10 on the eShop. And this sequel, Gunvolt 2, is available for 3DS this summer. So if you're thinking this is your kind of game, if you're looking for a 2D shoot 'em up, not shoot 'em up, but a 2D combat platformy kind of game, check out the original on the store for $10, and it'll probably pique your interest enough. After that is a game that we talked about on the show earlier, Fire Emblem Revelations. Now, the games we talk about were Birthright and Conquest. Those are the 2 versions of the game out right now. This third version is coming called Revelations, and this new version is going to give you a new path through the game, as well as the first piece of a series of installments of downloadable content. So there's going to be several DLCs down the line. This one's going to give you the first one of them. And the Bill there said, quote, it will reveal... Yeah, that was his name, right? Bill something or other?
Yeah, but just the way you said it, like we're on a first name basis, like we're friends.
Yeah, we're good buddies, him and I. We have drinks every Friday. But he quoted saying, "Will reveal many secrets you can't discover in Birthright and Conquest." So this will give you specifically in Chapter 6. I'm not going to say anything about the game because I don't know if it's spoilery or not. So I'll just say this. In Chapter 6, you're going to get a third option as opposed to the 2 you already had. And this will give you a whole new way to play through the game. And that's specifically the Branch of Fate in Chapter 6. And if you want to buy this, you can actually purchase it in game. You can go to the Explore Fates in the title screen, and it'll allow you to purchase it for about $20. You just select the Revelations title, and it's going to be on March 10th. So there's actually going to be the DLC I talked about earlier. It's going to be 2 different maps that are going to be available in the in-game shop called Dragon's Gate. The first map is Museum Mayway, and all he said was that you can acquire rare weapons. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then March 17th is going to be the introduction of the second map, which is Royal Royale. And that's where siblings of both kingdoms fight to decide who will save an alternate version of Corrin from another world. I'm not familiar with Fire Emblem, so apparently Corrin is important.
I read that as Royal Rumble, and I was like, WWE is in this game?
Yes, actually. There was also a third name on the screen. They didn't say anything about this, but it was placed together with the 2 other maps along with the price for these maps. It was called Ghostly Gold. So I don't know what that is. It could be another map that we're talking about, but they never brought mention to it. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be there. But these maps are $2.50 each, and if you bought Map Pack 1, then you already own them. New maps are going to be added every week until April 21st. So if you're a big Fire Emblem player, make sure to keep an eye out for that.
Does Fire Emblem have multiplayer?
I don't believe so.
I don't get what this map thing is, though.
It's essentially, think of it like levels in any other RPG.
Oh, alright.
So, up next was a Hyrule Warriors Legends, which is the 3DS version of the already existing Wii U game. This is the one with Linkle in it, by the way.
Linkle?
Yeah. So this is coming March 25th.
You know what I love about that?
What?
Link is already a unisex name.
Yeah, I guess... Listen, guys, I know Link is unisex, but we need to really make sure that she's female. What can we do? Give her short shorts and call her Linkle. Genius, promote him.
I don't know, call him Linkle?
Yeah.
Boom. That's why you're at the top of the company, Bill.
Yeah. This is how Bill got to where he is today.
It's the origin story of Bill.
So in the Hyrule Warriors Legends, the 3DS version, you can play as Wind Waker characters and the new character Winkle. It's they said that players enjoyed all the additional content that they provided for the Wii U version, so they decided to continue that tradition this time around, and there's going to be DLC in 2016 for this version as well. So launch day is going to offer you a season pass, which is 4 DLC packs and a bonus costume for Ganondorf. This costume is only going to be available on that launch day purchase. So if you buy it on launch day, but you want to buy a physical copy, if you do that, you'll get a code for a 3DS theme, a free theme that you can use, which I hear is a pretty big thing for those 3DSs. You can change the theme around. What you'll also get is this is, I believe, if you purchase it at all, you don't have to buy a physical copy for this. At least they didn't specify that. You get a transfer code that will allow Wii U owners to download and play as the 5 new characters in this one, and you get Ganon's Trident as a new weapon. The 5 new characters are Skull Kid, Linkle, Toon Link, Tetra, and King Daphnes.
Linkle.
You really like that name, huh?
It makes me laugh.
It's interesting. I think of that star in Paper Mario. I think his name was like Tinkle or something.
Yeah.
So if you pre-order at GameStop, we all know us gamers love pre-ordering at GameStop.
I hate GameStop.
Yeah, this is U.S. only, by the way. So overseas listeners, if you're across the pond, I'm sorry, this is not available to you.
Get out.
Yeah, you will get a 16-page softcover art book, which looks really cool.
USA.
Yeah. So a new character they mentioned way at the end of this, they kind of just like threw it in there last minute, but there's a new character for both versions called Medley, and Medley is a Wind Waker character, and you can pre-download her along with the first DLC pack. Did you like Wind Waker? Did you play it?
It was alright.
What about Link to the Past? I mentioned that earlier while you were away.
I like Link to the Past a lot, actually.
Oh, well.
I wanted to play that 3DS one that was basically the same exact thing, but I don't have a 3DS.
Well, now you can, because the SNES version's on the Virtual Console.
Again, I don't have a 3DS. No, there was a 3DS Zelda game that was the same thing.
Yeah, they sort of remade it.
Yeah.
So up next it was sort of like a child's game they threw in there. It's called Disney Art Academy. And essentially what it is you learn from an on-screen instructor, and he gives you step-by-step instructions on how to draw different characters. And they're all like Disney characters, and, there's the princesses, and there's like Winnie the Pooh, and, Eeyore, and all those other
Anakin Skywalker murdering all those younglings, like Disney characters,
actually,
classic Disney characters.
I don't. Now that you mention it, I don't think I saw any Star Wars characters in that little preview they showed.
Any Marvel?
I don't think so, but I wasn't looking all that closely. There
They're
was a
probably
lot
just
of
going for like classic Disney, and they're
yeah,
probably not.
probably. There's a lot of Disney characters, but if you like these kind of games or you know somebody who does, it's going to be available on 3DS on May 13th.
I bet you everyone who used to work at THQ is kicking themselves now. They're like, oh, everyone wants this U-Draw tablet now, I bet. Let's go back into business.
All right, so up next is actually the game I think I'm most excited for, and that's Bravely Default and Lair. Now,
It's
this
actually
is
Bravely Second. I was looking at it on Amazon earlier.
Bravely Second.
Yeah, it's the second game in the Bravely Default series.
Yes, but they didn't call it Bravely Second. They said Bravely Default and Lair.
Oh, really?
Why?
Because when I looked at it on Amazon, it said Bravely Second and Lair. That's why I was just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's odd that they wouldn't say that in their own conference, but whatever. So in this new sequel, there are going to be new jobs, and from what I gathered, I did do a little research on this, but jobs are what this game calls like classes essentially. And they said they did mention there are quite a few new ones, but they only mentioned two specifically. They wanted to talk about these two, and that's the wizard. And it's not like you're just stereotypical wizard where you shoot spells. You actually have to create the spells by combining different things. There was examples on screen that were the heat hammer, the lightning mist. So you kind of like Final Fantasy X, Lulu. She could combine two spells and make a different one. That's kind of the same idea. The examples they gave were healing spells of white mages or the elements of black mages, and you can create some pretty powerful combos that way. The second one that really kind of caught my attention is called the Catmancer.
Oh,
So
yeah, you were
the-
telling me about this.
Yes, so the Catmancer has the ability to learn the monsters that you encounter. He can learn their moveset, and then he teaches that move, or teaches those moves, to different cats. And then he can have these cats perform these attacks in exchange for cat treats. So think of Yojimbo from Final Fantasy X if you played that, but instead of paying him money, you pay cats treats. Honestly, that alone was enough to get me interested. I'm kind of curious about this game now. And it's in that cutesy anime JRPG kind of art style, so I thought that was really cool. And the cats are adorable.
The question is, though, are you a pop star in it?
You are not. You're going to have to stick to Session Sharp FE for that. So with this Bravely Default sequel, there's going to be if you're interested in it, there's going to be a free demo coming to the eShop on March 10th. And it's going to include, it's going to be the whole side story that you can only get in that demo. The side story is it's 3 cavaliers who are elite knights, and they were dispatched to look into certain disturbances. So if you want to play that, that's only going to be available in that demo, and it should be enough to kind of get you into that franchise. You don't like GameStop, so how about Best Buy? Do you like Best Buy?
No, I absolutely hate Best Buy even more than GameStop.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but Best Buy Gamers Club members will receive a 16-digit code to get the demo early on March 7th. So no early code for you, Jacob.
I don't get what's going on with Nintendo and Best Buy. Like, they had like a Wii U event thing for Smash Bros. Before it came out at like Best Buys.
I don't know, actually.
They're embedded with Best Buy. I bet you they're the reason why Best Buy is so bad.
It's all Nintendo's fault.
Yeah, exactly. It's all running on like Wii controllers. That's how they have to work their stuff there. They gotta get it to aim, and like it becomes unconnected, and they're like, son of a bitch.
They can only log info or log inventory using the Wiimote.
Yeah, they have to type with the Wiimote and like have to move around the
Oh my
cursor, and
God.
it's shaking around for some reason. You're like, son of a bitch.
So if you do play that demo, then it'll give you play bonuses that you can transfer into the full game when it's released. The demo for the first game, actually, if you're interested in getting back to the roots, it's still in the eShop. So if you want to try it from the beginning of the series, you can do that as well. As far as I know, there is no bonus from going to first game to second game. They didn't mention anything like that. It's available for pre-purchase on March 10th in the eShop and is launching on April 15th. They also announced a collector's edition, but they didn't give a price for it as far as I saw. If they did, then it didn't catch my ear, rather. It's going to include a game, a soundtrack CD, and an official art book. And this thing is huge. Like, it looks like a really, really quality art book. Just from the stuff I saw in it, it looks really, really cool. So if you're one of those people who loves art or loves just kind of seeing how the game assets are made, then that's definitely something you're going to want to look into. And at the end, they mentioned they're doing a video series on YouTube going more specifically into that, into the game. So up next, we have Dragon Quest VII: Fragments of the Forgotten Past. Now, this was, from what I gathered, an already made game, but they remade it for 3DS, and it is, quote, essentially a brand new game. We've heard that before. So the world is remade, the story has been retranslated, and the characters have new 3D models.
Right.
So you play as Oster, who's the son of a famous fisherman, and he doesn't want to be a fisherman. The classic tale. So the companions that you're traveling with, you travel in a group of 3. It's Oster, the mischievous Prince Kiefer, and a clever, headstrong girl named Maribel. You run around using a fragment detector, searching for fragments of stone tablets. I'm sorry about that. That was my phone. And once collected, they warp you into the past in order to save the present. That's about as much as we got with that information. But it's going to feature turn-based combat with about 30 different classes. So rather than picking your class and then customizing from there, it seems like you can take these 3 guys, Oyster, Kiefer, and Maribel, and change the class that they are. And they said it's going to launch later this year. No specific date or month.
I like the name Maribel.
Do you?
I want to name my daughter Maribel.
You do that. I don't know how popular a name Maribel is, but...
No, but it's like... It's different. That's why I like it.
It reminds me of like a farm girl, which kind of makes sense because the girl you see in the trailer is a redhead with like the bandana on her head.
Right.
She looks like she just got in from like sewing or like milking the cow or whatever.
Well, I think Maribel's like a really pretty name.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Have you ever played the Monster Hunter games? Because that's up next.
No, I actually haven't. I've always thought they looked cool, but I've just never played them.
This one looks really cool, and it's called Monster Hunter Generations. Now, this is the Western version of the already existing Monster Hunter Cross game that's in Japan. So they implemented new style system and hunter arts, and it is supposedly the most customizable Monster Hunter experience ever. Quoting him there. They showed a debut trailer. So this is one of the other games that they did a trailer for. And I can't really explain too much of what's going on because it was a lot of just kind of showing the world and showing some non-gameplay, like just normal trailer stuff. So check that out if you want to see that. But what they did mention after the trailer was over, though, is if your 3DS has save data for Monster Hunter Ultimate 4 on it, you're going to get bonus content in the new game, which I thought was kind of cool. Kind of like the Banjo-Kazooie into Banjo-Tooie kind of thing.
Right.
So kind of the same deal there. And to kind of incentivize people into doing that, they put a promo sale up for Ultimate 4. It's going to cost you $20 for the next 48 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you're looking to get into the Monster Hunter franchise, now is the time to do it.
Technically 24 by the time this...
Yes, technically 24 by the time this is out. And they also did a collab, which I think was cool to mention, and you can get a special Marth armor set, and that's Marth from Fire Emblem. And it looks really cool, actually.
First of all, you didn't say it right. They did a sick nasty collab, bro.
Okay.
With Monster Hunter.
I apologize. Now, up next is probably the most controversial game. Maybe that was the wrong word.
I hate that this exists.
Yeah, so this up next is called Metroid Prime Federation Force. Now, something they said several times throughout the talking of this game was that it belongs in the Metroid series, and they want to prove to the gamer base why this game belongs in that universe.
Is there actually a campaign to it, or is it just
Yes, from what I understand.
All right, then.
So they started off by saying, development started in 2009 with an online multiplayer focus, but they canceled it because the DSi, which is what they were developing off of at the time, wasn't good enough, and they knew that the product they were making wouldn't meet user standards.
So just throwing the DSi under the bus.
Yeah, they essentially said it sucked and it wasn't going to fit their...
It was a piece of shit. Get this out of here.
Yeah. So they came back to development because they noticed that the 3DS XL is good enough. We can work off that. And this game is going to feature the conflict between the Space Pirates and the Galactic Federation. And it's important to mention here that the reason this is controversial is because Samus is not the main character, but she will appear and she will be mentioned. So the main character is it's essentially you're a soldier, or you're, I guess, technically a group of soldiers. They're basically spec up like Spartans, wearing armor that was based off Samus's suit.
Right.
And you go through levels fighting enemies as this group of 4, and you carry items with you that is going to determine your class. And what I mean by that is they gave specifically examples of missiles and heal packs for the 2 they gave. So if you carry a lot of missiles, you're a warrior class. If you carry a lot of heal packs, you're a healer. You're a support class. and they're going to give you a carry limit, so you can only carry so much. So you have to be kind of conservative what items you're going to take and how you're going to do it. So the best way I heard it described was, this looks like a great game, but it doesn't look like a Metroid game. Do not look at this as your next Metroid game. Look at this as just a fun co-op multiplayer kind of experience, because that's what this looks like to me. The 3 classes they specifically said were Warrior, Mage, and Healer. There could be other ones they didn't say, but those are just the 3 they mentioned. They're going to do a hands-on demo at some of the upcoming conferences. Specifically, WonderCon was one of the ones they brought up, and the game itself is launching in late spring. So if you're interested in this game, or you at least want to know how bad it's going to be, or how bad you think it might be, then check it out at like WonderCon or one of the conferences if you happen to be going to that.
Oh, we're on the final stretch here, boys.
Yes, we're almost there, guys.
Thank God.
Tell me about it. My voice is killing me here. So up next we have Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix, and this is a 3DS title, and it's gonna have, think of like WarioWare. Okay, did you ever play WarioWare?
Yes, and I've played Rhythm Heaven.
So it's gonna be 100 different rhythm-based games, and for this title specifically, Mega Mix, there's gonna be 70 old games from the previous titles, including titles that were never released in the US. So there's going to be some Japanese-only games in there that we've never seen before. So I guess technically new to us. And there's going to be 30 new ones that are only in this game. And this game's going to launch later this year. So this is like a rhythm-based WarioWare is what I got here.
The Rhythm Heaven games are fun.
Are they? I never played
them before. They are essentially like a rhythm-based sort of WarioWare sort of thing. It's like a mini-game collection kind of thing. But they're all like based on rhythm, and they have different songs and stuff. They're pretty fun.
All right, sorry about that. I had to take a drink of water. All right, so up next we have the final game of our conference.
Thank God, and way to end just on a high note.
Yeah, they really. This actually looks pretty good. This is one of the few games I'm hopeful for, and it's called Kirby Planet Robobot.
It's an interesting title.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Robobot.
So it's essentially your normal Kirby game. It's the kind where you kind of switch between moving in the foreground and the background. You jump back and forth like that. There's going to be new Kirby like suck up abilities. What else do you call them? I don't know what to call them.
I don't know. I just think suck up sounds funny.
Yeah. So like you eat your enemies, you get their abilities, and there's gonna be new ones, but in total there's gonna be 25. And they said you use enemies' machines against them, because the whole plot of this game is they're mechanizing Dreamland, and Kirby has to stop them. And the armor specifically that Kirby takes is called the Robobot armor.
It sounds like someone with a stutter saying robot.
That's exactly what it sounds like, but it...
Robobot.
Yeah. So the Robobot armor actually has Kirby's like suck-up absorption ability, and except they call them modes when he's in the armor. So the armor has 10 different modes, and you can interact with the terrain using these modes. So you break a giant block in your way, or you knock down a tree or whatever.
Right.
So you're kind of stereotypical, not stereotypical, but very basic Kirby game. The kind of new stuff though is there's going to be a 4-player boss fight, and each player has a selected role. So it's going to be sort of a multiplayer, defeat, just sort of a challenge mode sort of thing. And you get tablets for beating boss. What is with Nintendo and tablets? It's paint and tablets with these guys.
The other meeting was like, oh god, get some tablets in that Kirby game. Let's do it.
It's got to be really interesting to be at a day at Nintendo headquarters. So you get tablets for beating these bosses, and if you collect all of them, then your team will unlock a meteor attack, which does apparently a bunch of damage. And this game is available for download play as well. And for those of you who don't know, download play is it's exactly what it sounds like. Even if you don't own the game, you can download it and then play it from somebody who does.
Huh.
And what I think makes this game really, really cool is that Amiibos are going to have, it's getting late here, so I'm kind of screwing up my words. I can't words, no good no more. So Amiibos are going to have interactions with Kirby. So if you put, like, say, a Link Amiibo on, Kirby's going to get Link's ability in Smash Bros., like when he gets the sword.
Mm-hmm.
If you put Mario's on there, he's going to get fireballs, kind of the, stereotypical stuff. But they said every single Amiibo will do something with Kirby, supposedly. So you can try all the different kinds of Amiibos to see what it's going to do with them.
What does the Kirby Amiibo do?
Well, that's a good question, because there's a new line of Kirby Amiibos coming with this game, which will give Kirby a new costume and a UFO ability only available in that game.
I totally did that coincidentally. Yeah, I totally did that by accident.
Yeah, because Jacob, he has the notes, but he does not have them open right now.
Yeah, no. Sitting back in his chair.
Yeah, this looks like a really cool Kirby game. If you're a fan of the Kirby franchise, look forward to this one.
Do you think they
You
were? Do you think they were planning out this Nintendo Direct and they were just like, "What are we gonna do for it, guys? I don't know. Just paint on the tablets. Just pour all the paint on the tablets."
listen, the latest system, the Wii U, has a giant tablet. It is a giant tablet. The NX has a portable tablet. They got a weird thing going on at Nintendo.
Let us run a Nintendo Direct, and it will just be nothing but paint and tablets. We'll start it off with slow motion, just paint just dropping on a pile of Wii U tablets.
Yeah.
Then we'll just be like, new colors of Wii U tablets coming. Boom.
I would love to just spend a day at Nintendo to see what goes on there. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't want to see how the sausage is made.
I want to spend a day there just to have them I want them to call us in and just be like, what would you guys do for a Nintendo Direct? And be like, well, let me tell you what I would do for a Nintendo Direct. And then they would immediately just show us the door.
Yes. I would like to know who thought Paper Mario Color Splash was a good idea. I'd like to have a stern talking to with him.
Be like, excuse me, sir. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kirby Planet Robobot was the last game on that list. You guys of the Kirby franchise can enjoy your new game. Us of the Paper Mario franchise get to cry in the corner.
And everyone who doesn't have a Wii U gets to say, huh?
Honestly, this has said some certain things that'd make me want to buy a Wii U.
But the NX is coming soon, so there's no reason to.
Well,
right?
Yeah, and every single Nintendo system since the Wii has had backwards compatibility on it. So there's no reason to buy an old system when you know that the new one's going to be able to play the games.
You know what? You're right. Remove the Wii U from my cart.
I just cost Nintendo $300. There goes our sponsorship.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get sponsored by that Japanese game, though. Maybe they'll send us a Wii U.
Oh, I would love to get sponsored by that Japanese game.
I would. Oh, man, I would love that.
If you want a glowing review, what was the name of this game? The Tempo something or other. Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE.
Yeah. We can totally be bought if you want to buy a positive review.
All right, I think we're rambling here.
Yeah, we're just wrap it up.
Probably wrap up.
Are we gonna do the usual spiel, or are we just
sure? I'll do the spiel. I'm a man of structure. I like my my things to be all in a line. So if you want to get in touch with us, maybe tell us how much of an idiot we are. We don't know Nintendo products. You can do that at completewithdlc@gmail.com. Drop us a line, give us some comments, concerns, feedback, whatever you want to do. We would love to hear it, and we will respond to you promptly, hopefully. If you want to find us on social media, you can do that at Twitter. We're Complete with DLC there as well. That's where we post when new episodes have gone up, or when either Jacob or myself is doing something interesting. Usually it's Jacob, though, because I don't really do all that much on...
maybe sometimes we tweet to the head of Microsoft that he's a cool guy.
Yes, we like Phil Spencer. He's a cool guy.
Phil Spencer, if you want to come on the show, you're fully welcome to come on.
I'm sure
use your platform of Skype to talk to you.
No, we won't. It sucks.
I love Skype. We're on Skype right now.
Love Skype, not the Xbox version. So yeah, if you want to get in touch with us on social media, that's where you're going to want to do it. We're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and SoundCloud for all the audio ways to get the podcast. SoundCloud is where the RSS feed is hosted. That's where you get the episodes first. You get them freshest right off the assembly line.
Yeah, it is
Leave us
an assembly line at this point.
Yeah, we're just pumping out content like nobody's business. Leave us a comment and a review on iTunes or Stitcher. It means a lot to us. We take all the feedback we get, and we are constantly trying to improve the show. Hopefully to some degree of success. I'd like to think we're at least moving in the right direction. Jacob, if they don't want to talk to the show, say they don't like the show, but they like you, they want to get in touch with you, where can they do that?
They can find me on any social media at itsjgriff, ITSJYGRF. GRIFF. Sorry, too, if I sound really quiet or bored during this. I'm just incredibly tired.
Yeah, it's really late here. It's actually 11:30 p.m. Pacific, or Eastern at this time. Pacific.
I just also got out of my night class, so I'm incredibly tired.
Yes, long night for us here at Complete with DLC.
At Complete with DLC World Headquarters, we're in it's kind of like the Watchtower from DC Comics. We're in space right now. And
yes, actually. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Great
we're just
view.
looking down on all you ants.
We're looking down at all the paint and tablets Nintendo has thrown all over the place.
At the painted tablets they've sent to us because we're the new Nintendo sponsored podcast. But yeah, any social media at it's JGriff, ITSJAYGRAFF. Brad, if they want to see you, where do they go?
You can get in touch with me on Twitter. I'm Kalgny on Twitter, KALGNE. You can just give me a follow there. I'm getting better at using it, guys. I promise. I swear it's happening. But if you actually want to have a conversation with me and something I check regularly, that's going to be BattleNet for that. It's my friend code is Brad1261. And as soon as you shoot me an invite and I accept it, make sure you make a note or tell me that you're from the show or you're a listener. That way I can add that note and I don't accidentally delete you after you've been on there for 6 months and I don't remember who you are. It's just how I organize things, guys. I'm sorry. Just make sure you do that.
Right. Oh.
Or, if you want to ask a question specifically, but you don't use BattleNet or you don't use Twitter or anything like that, just specify the question for either Jacob or myself in the show email that you send, and we'll make sure it gets to the right people.
Also, by the way, if you like to hear two 19-year-old boys, little boys, feel really meh about Slender the Arrival later on today, check out our YouTube channel.
Oh yes, we're doing some hopefully weekly series of essentially I get the living hell scared out of me.
Yeah, Brad.
Except not this week because Slender sucked.
Spoiler. Well, for a couple weeks, Brad explained to me that he gets scared by horror games, so I made him play a horror game first.
I have the confidence of a 3-year-old little girl.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I could play that with a 3-year-old little girl and she wouldn't get scared. But yeah, so basically I just make Brad play scary games and then he gets not scared by Slender. But so for the next couple weeks, and it's going to be weekly, I messed up last week because I forgot to have the episode ready. But I got the episode ready. Did it earlier this week. So that'll be up on youtube.com/whatever it is. It's not really /complete with DLC because we can't get that URL, but
yes.
Just look up complete with DLC. I'm sure you'll find us.
Yes.
And that's the end of the special episode of Complete with DLC.
That is the end.
That was odd how you just did that. I'm Jay Griffin.
I'm Brad Knight.
And thank you for listening.